And we are back, Sky Squad. We are back in the building with a little bit more tea, a little bit more sauce for you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell button, join the texting community so I can send you a text message as soon as the new video drops. And now we got to get into the tea. Okay, now we're going to take things over to the Bravo Shade Room. Okay. Now, you guys make sure you are following the Bravo Shade Room. They give you lots of tea, great clips from Real Housewives, Bravo news bits. And in this clip with Entertainment Tonight with Bryce Sander, Kenya Moore is opening up about the new season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and her own personal life. Now, I want you guys to notice something. I felt like this feels like a much like lighter and more open Kenya than ever before. And the reason why I say that is because there just seems to be a joy that's permeating from within her as she's giving the interview. Now, for all I know, I mean, listen, that could just be she's happy to be out doing press. It could be a variety of things, but let's get into what she had to say about the new season, okay? She does go into a little bit of her divorce, and she says that everything has been settled, custody and all types of stuff has been settled. But you know what ain't been settled that she cannot seem to get her ex-husband to settle on? The cream, y'all. The cash rules everything around me. And she says she would like to hope that he's not, looking for a paycheck. But I mean, the matter ain't been settled yet, and it's been 2 years. And she's like, what's the holdup, bruh? What is the holdup? Do you guys think that he is looking for that cash rules everything around me settlement type thing? Or what do you guys think is going on with that? Now, she also goes into her relinquishing the villain role on Housewives this season, acknowledging pretty much that in past seasons she's kind of taken that. And if I listened to Carlos King's podcast just last night, and he was detailing the top 10, greatest housewives of all time. And he talked about Kenya Moore, and he talked about how she's been season after season been able to take the villain role and not have a lot of support in the background, and how she never really ever complained and she always showed up to work. And I can tell you from people that I have talked to in the industry, and they talked about her, they have said the exact same thing about her, how resilient she is, how professional she is, and how she doesn't complain and she just shows up to work. So I got to give her that. And to me, that just raised the level of respect for me for her, because I've always heard in this business, I remember, I will never forget it. The piece of advice that I first got when I first got into this business is to be easy to work with. And if she's easy to work with, baby, that's the reason why she's lasted so long on this show. Not only that, but she's entertaining and she pushes the storyline forward. But she basically says that there's a couple of new people that take on that villain role, and one of them's name starts with an M and ends with an O, and certainly we have to believe that that's Marlo. Okay. So she also says that when Drew Sidora had mentioned that, this season goes below the belt, that, who do we think brags the most about hitting below the belt? Once again, insinuating that Marlo is going below the belt and does some things to her. She says that she started off this season hoping that they were going to be still in the same place, the good place that they left last season. But she believes that, Marlo had an agenda. And she also believes that for Marlo Marlo was trying to keep up mess with her in order to validate getting that peach. Okay. So she says the best way to, keep a peach is to come after her. I mean, and, it does seem like that could be the case. She also goes into a beef that she has with Candy during the season. And it's a moment from the trailer where she says something about uh somebody's husband uh dialing up her punani all night or something like that. And she says that it's more in relation to a situation that Candy put her in, and she didn't really come for Candy. She just didn't appreciate the situation at hand. She does go on to say that her and Drew started off in one place, but they ended up in a better place this season. And she also says that Sheree is the person that she is closest to on the cast at this point, which is surprising because I would have thought that that would have been Candy, but it is in fact Sheree that she is the closest to. She talks about her thoughts about Portia and Cynthia's exits, and she said some really nice things and just positive about, how they both decided that it was their time to leave, and if that's what makes them happy, she's happy for them. So I thought that that was really nice, and again, it just feels like a more fun, relaxed Kenya. And she really even goes into detail about that in this interview. So I suggest heading over to the Rhoa Shade Room because it's a whole bunch of clips on this, like 9 clips that you guys can really watch and dive into. I thought it was really, really good. Okay. So go check that out. Kenya Moore is no longer going to be the villain, but she says she will still Rita be. Okay. She said that ain't changed. And she said she also came to Drew's defense in the trailer because, and I thought this as well, she came to Drew's defense against Ralph in the trailer because she says she didn't like the way he was talking to her. And she says she felt like she saw a lot of similarities in Ralph and her ex-husband, Mark Daly, which is very, very interesting and very, very, very telling. And because of the things that she's gone through in her marriage, she says she's not putting up with anybody's BS this season. Okay. So it's about to be all the way lit with Miss Kenya Moore come this season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I am, for one, excited to see it. Now let's take things over to Queens of Bravo because as you guys may recall, or if you didn't know, Garcelle has been making the promotional rounds for her new book, Love Me As I Am. And she happened to stop by Watch What Happens Live last night. And it got very, 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 very juicy. She talked about the whole situation with Erica. They polled the audience and asked who was shadier in that whole situation with her and Erica. And she said the audience voted that Erica was shadier, and she definitely felt like Erica was shadier. And she says that she pulled the clip from the trailer. It wasn't like she pulled some other type of clip. And she said that, it was what it was. And she should thank Erica because, those book sales are coming in, baby. So ultimately, it ended up helping the sales of the book, and they will handle whatever they need to handle at the reunion. Okay. Her words, not mine. So when asked about, the season, Andy did ask some questions, and this is where we come in with the Queens of Bravo, and thank God that they posted this because I like to give you guys a visual of the things that are being said. And she says that she thinks that Renna is because, they be playing them games with Andy, and she thinks that Renna is the biggest pot stirrer of the season, okay, which is no surprise because that is Lisa Rinna's role on the show. And we either love or we dislike her for it at times. It just depends on our mood. Y'all know how we are. She says that she is the person who dives deepest into Erica's drama, she herself, which is very, very interesting. So, Erica is going to be gunning for her at this year's reunion. And Garcelle, I hope you are ready, okay? She says that Erica also hurts her feelings the most. So something Erica said, which is probably what prompted her to unfollow Erica in the first place, got so under her skin that it really, really, really hurt her. She says that Lisa Rinna turned out the best looks, which is interesting because usually it is Dorit who is turning out the best looks. But to be honest with you guys, Dorit to me has been sort of fading into the background. And I do know that she's had some very serious things happen to her this season. And I will be interested in seeing how those things play out and how she recovers from that. And I hate to see anybody go through anything like that. But so it shocked me, though, that Rinna turned out the best looks. But Rinna is able to put on a wig and step up that fashion game when she wants to. Okay. She says Kathy will have the most to answer for at the reunion as well. And get this, though, here is the kicker. When asked, Andy asked her 2 specific questions. One, who do you think is closer to Kathy Hilton at this point in time now? You, yourself, or Kyle Richards? Because in the trailer, we saw Lisa Rinna confronting Kathy Hilton about some things that she allegedly said about Kyle, and Kyle is crying and asking her why she would say those things. And so when Andy asked who was closer, Garcelle or Kyle, Garcelle said she's more closer to Kathy Hilton at this point now than Kyle, which definitely leads us to believe that Kathy Hilton and Kyle are still not in a good place, as evidenced by the fact that when Kathy Hilton had just one of her birthday parties, because she could have had five, 4, 15, 16, 17 birthday parties. The one that we did see, only Sutton and Garcelle were at that one of them. And I think Crystal had said she couldn't make that particular one. So I do believe that Crystal is probably still in a good place with Kathy as well, but I'm not surprised about the Kyle thing. And then the person who she said, they asked, who are you glad that you were not on the show with when they were on the show? And she said Brandy Glanville. Now, and then she said she was a housewife, right? Because, Brandy had kind of oscillated between being a friend, a housewife, and then a guest. Okay. So so Brandy herself then got upset and she tweeted and said, yes, I was a housewife. And yes, you can basically thank me for you being a housewife or whatever. And Garcelle just kind of rolled her eyes or whatever. And Garcelle, I will say, yes, you were probably lucky you were not there when Brandy was there, because Brandy stirred up the mess. She even slapped Lisa Vanderpump across the face. Y'all remember that? She slapped Lisa Vanderpump across the face. She knocked Kyle down the stairs. The girl was off the chain. I can't wait to see her in I would like to interview Brandy. I don't really have many people on my list that I would like to interview, but she is somebody I would like to ask some very pointed questions. Like, why are you still talking about this thing with you and Denise? But anyway, I digress a whole lot, okay? Because that's neither here nor there at this point. I just came to give y'all this bit of news and this bit of tea about Kenya, about Garcelle, about the new season of Beverly Hills, about the new seasons of Atlanta. May is about to be lit. I cannot wait for all of it to come down. It's going to be insane. So make sure you guys keep it locked onto the channel. I will catch you guys in the next video.